In the small coastal town of Eldridge, Jake Thompson sat on his porch, staring out at the sea. The sun dipped low on the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. He loved this time of day, but today it felt empty. Jake sighed, thinking about his best friend, Mia, who had moved away 6 months ago. They had shared everything: laughs, dreams, and secrets. Now, the distance between them felt like an ocean. Mia had moved to a big city for a job opportunity, and while Jake was happy for her, he couldn't shake the loneliness that wrapped around him like a heavy blanket. He missed her smile, her laughter, and the way they could talk for hours about anything and everything. The phone calls and texts they exchanged felt insufficient, like trying to catch the tide in a net. He longed for the days when they could just hang out, enjoying the warmth of each other's company. As he sat there, Jake picked up his phone and scrolled through their old messages and photos. He smiled at a picture of them at the beach, both grinning widely as a wave crashed behind them. But as soon as he put the phone down, the smile faded. It was hard to accept that Mia was gone. He wanted to reach out, to tell her how much he missed her, but fear held him back. What if she was too busy for him now? What if she had forgotten about their friendship? Jake stood up and walked to the edge of the porch, looking out at the ocean. The water shimmered under the fading sunlight, and he thought about the adventures they had shared. They had spent countless hours exploring tide pools, collecting shells, and dreaming about the future. Those memories felt like a lifeline, but now they only deepened his sadness. He felt like a ship lost at sea, adrift and without direction. That night, as he lay in bed, Jake couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned, his mind racing with thoughts of Mia. He recalled their last conversation before she left. She had promised to stay in touch, to always be there for him, no matter the distance. But the reality of their separation weighed heavily on him. He could feel the gap growing wider, and it scared him. In a moment of desperation, he picked up his phone again. He typed a message to Mia, his fingers hovering over the screen. "Hey, I miss you. How are you doing?" He hesitated, unsure if he should send it. What if she didn't care anymore? What if she was too busy living her new life to even respond? Swallowing hard, he finally pressed send, his heart racing as he waited for a reply. Days passed with no response. Jake tried to keep himself busy, throwing himself into work and spending time with his family, but the emptiness lingered. He often found himself staring at the ocean, wishing for a sign that Mia still thought of him. Each wave that crashed against the shore felt like a reminder of their friendship slipping away. One Saturday morning, Jake decided to go fishing. He hoped that being out on the water would clear his mind. With his fishing gear in hand, he headed to the dock, the salty breeze brushing against his face. As he cast his line into the water, he let the rhythmic sound of the waves soothe him. The ocean had always been his escape, a place where he felt connected to something greater. As the sun rose higher, Jake felt a sense of calm wash over him. He focused on the gentle ripples in the water, when suddenly he noticed something unusual. Flash of bright light beneath the surface. Curious, he leaned over the edge of the dock. The light flickered again, and he squinted to see better. Was it just a trick of the light? Or was something really there? In a moment of impulse, Jake grabbed his gear and jumped into the water. The cold hit him like a shock, but he swam towards the shimmering light. As he got closer, he realized it was not just a reflection. It was a figure struggling beneath the waves. Panic surged through him as he swam faster. He reached out, grasping the figure, and pulled it toward the surface. As they broke through the water, Jake gasped. The figure was not human. It was a creature of unimaginable beauty, with shimmering skin that glowed like the stars. It was an alien princess, her wide eyes filled with fear and gratitude. "Thank you," she gasped, her voice soft and melodic. "I thought I would drown." Jake was in shock, but quickly regained his composure. "Hang on, I've got you." He swam to the dock, pulling her safely onto the wooden planks. As he caught his breath, he took a moment to process what had just happened. He had saved an alien princess. The princess looked at him, her eyes sparkling with appreciation. "I am Lyra," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "You saved my life. I owe you a debt I cannot repay." Jake stared at her, a mix of awe and disbelief flooding over him. "You don't have to repay me. I just did what anyone would do," he replied, feeling a warmth in his chest. Lyra shook her head. "No, you do not understand. In my world, saving a life is a sacred bond. I want to offer you something in return." She reached into a pouch at her side and pulled out a small crystal that glowed with an otherworldly light. "This is a wish. Crystal, you may use it to fulfill your heart's desire." Jake's heart raced. A wish crystal? It felt like something out of a fairy tale. He thought about his friendship with Mia and how distant they had become. Maybe this was the answer. He was looking for a way to reconnect with her. But as he looked at Lyra, he realized there was more to it than that. This moment was not just about his loneliness. It was about hope and the possibility of a new beginning. He took a deep breath, feeling the weight of his decision. "I wish to reconnect with my friend," he said, his voice steady. "I want her to know that I care, no matter the distance." As he spoke, the crystal pulsed with light, and a wave of energy surged through him. He felt a sense of warmth and connection, as if the universe was aligning to support his wish. The glow enveloped him and Lyra, binding them in a moment of shared understanding. "Your wish is heard," Lyra said, her voice softening. "You have the power to bridge the distance between you and your friend." With that, Jake knew his journey was just beginning. He had saved a life today, but he had also taken the first step toward rekindling a friendship that meant the world to him. As he looked out at the ocean, he felt a spark of hope. The distance between him and Mia no longer felt insurmountable. With determination in his heart, he was ready to reach out once more, knowing that the bonds of friendship could overcome any obstacle. The sun had set, and the stars twinkled brightly in the night sky as Jake sat on the dock, the gentle waves lapping at the wooden posts. The encounter with Lyra, the alien princess, still felt surreal. He wondered if it had all been a dream, but the small crystal in his pocket reminded him that it was very real. As Jake looked out at the ocean, he thought about his wish. He had wished to reconnect with Mia, and now he felt a strange sense of hope. Could this really work? Would the distance between them shrink? He took a deep breath, feeling a mixture of excitement and fear. What if Mia didn't want to reconnect? What if she had moved on with her new life? Jake pulled out the glowing crystal and held it tightly in his hand. The light pulsed gently, as if it could sense his feelings. He thought about all the memories he had shared with Mia, the late-night talks, the laughter, and the comfort of knowing she was always there. He missed her more than he had realized. With determination, he closed his eyes and focused on the wish he had made. "I really want to talk to Mia," he whispered, feeling the warmth of the crystal vibrate against his palm. "I want her too. No, I care." Suddenly, the crystal flashed brightly, and a wave of energy surged through him. He opened his eyes, feeling a strange sense of clarity. It was as if the universe had shifted, aligning in a way that made him believe anything was possible. Jake rushed home, his heart racing. He had to reach out to Mia. He sat down at his desk and opened his laptop, staring at the blank screen. What should he say? How could he express how much he missed her? He started typing, his fingers moving quickly across the keyboard. "Hey Mia, it's Jake. I hope you're doing well. I've been thinking about you a lot lately." I miss our talks and all the fun we had together. I know you're busy, but I'd really love to catch up. Let me know if you're free to chat sometime." After staring at the message, he finally pressed send. A wave of anxiety washed over him. What if she didn't respond? What if she had forgotten about him? He tried to push those thoughts away and focused on the hope that had sparked within him. The next few days felt like an eternity. Jake went about his routine, but his mind kept drifting back to Mia. At work, he found it hard to concentrate. During lunch breaks, he would check his phone constantly, hoping for a reply. But there was nothing. One evening, after another long day, Jake sat on the porch, feeling the weight of disappointment. Just when he was about to give up hope, his phone buzzed. He jumped, heart racing, and quickly grabbed it. It was a message from Mia. "Hey Jake, I'm so glad to hear from you. I miss you too. Things have been pretty hectic here, but I'd love to catch up. How about a video call this weekend?" Jake felt a rush of joy. He couldn't believe it. She wanted to talk. He quickly replied, arranging a time for their call. As the weekend approached, he felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. What would they talk about? Would things feel the same? Finally, the day of the call arrived. Jake sat in front of his laptop, nervously adjusting his hair and checking his reflection in the screen. He took a deep breath and waited for Mia to join. When her face appeared on the screen, the days that followed Jake's video call with Mia felt like a whirlwind of emotions. After weeks of feeling lost, he was finally reconnecting with someone who meant so much to him. Mia's laughter echoed in his mind, and he replayed their conversation over and over. They had talked about everything: work, life in the city, and their favorite memories together. For the first time in months, Jake felt hopeful. But as the excitement settled, a new worry crept in. Would Mia really want to keep in touch? She had her new life now, filled with new friends and challenges. What if their conversation started to fade again? Jake couldn't bear the thought of losing her for a second time. Determined to keep their connection alive, he decided to take action. One evening, as he sat on his porch watching the sunset, an idea sparked in his mind. He would send Mia a care package. It would be a way to show her that he was thinking of her and to remind her of their friendship. With renewed energy, Jake grabbed a notepad and started jotting down ideas of what to include. He thought of all the little things Mia loved: her favorite snacks, a good book they had talked about, and a photo of the two of them at the beach. He wanted her to feel the warmth of their friendship, even from afar. As he wrote, he felt a sense of purpose. This care package would be a symbol of their bond, a reminder that no distance could break them apart. The next day, Jake went shopping for the items he had listed. He picked up her favorite chocolate bars, some local snacks, and a small notebook for her to jot down her thoughts and adventures. As he walked through the store, he felt a thrill of excitement. Each item he added to his cart felt like a piece of their friendship that he was sending to her. After gathering everything, Jake returned home and carefully packed the items into a sturdy box. He found the photo of them at the beach, their faces beaming with joy, and slipped it into the package. As he taped it shut, he felt a sense of accomplishment. He was taking a step to bridge the distance between them, and that made him feel powerful. He decided to write a heartfelt letter to include in the package. He poured his feelings onto the paper, expressing how much he missed her and how grateful he was for their friendship. He wanted her to know that even though they were miles apart, she was still a huge part of his life. With the letter finished, Jake sealed the package and took it to the post office the next day. As he handed it over to the clerk, he felt a rush of hope. This simple act of sending a care package felt monumental. It was a way to reach out, to remind Mia that he was still here, cheering her on from afar. After a few days, Jake received a message from Mia. His heart raced as he opened it, eager to see her response. "Jake," she wrote, "I got your package today. Thank you so much. You made my day. I loved everything, especially the photo. It's so great to be reminded of our fun times." Jake grinned from ear to ear as he read her message. He felt a warmth spread through him, knowing that his small gesture had made her happy. They exchanged messages back and forth, and Jake felt the distance between them shrinking even more. They talked about their lives, their dreams, and how much they missed each other. One evening, as they chatted online, Mia shared something that surprised Jake. "You know, Jake, I've been thinking about how much I miss our beach trips. I really want to come back and visit. I miss you and the ocean." His heart leaped at the thought. "Really? That would be amazing. I'd love to. Show you all the new spots I've found." He could already imagine their adventures together, walking along the shore, collecting seashells, and laughing until their sides hurt. "I'll plan a trip soon," Mia replied. "I just need to figure out my schedule. But I promise I'll make it happen." Jake felt a surge of excitement. The idea of seeing Mia again filled him with joy. He realized that their friendship could not only survive the distance, but could thrive because of it. They both had their own lives now, but their bond was strong enough to withstand any challenge. As the weeks passed, Jake continued to send little notes and messages to Mia. He shared updates about the town, local events, and even funny stories about his fishing trips. In return, she told him about her new friends, the interesting places she had explored, and the challenges she faced in the city. Each exchange deepened their connection, and Jake felt more hopeful than ever. One evening, while sitting by the ocean, Jake saw the sun setting in vibrant colors. It reminded him of the times he and Mia had watched the sunset together. He pulled out his phone and sent her a picture of the view. "Wish you were here?" he typed. A few moments later, Mia replied, "Me too. I can almost feel the ocean breeze. Let's plan a virtual sunset watch soon." Jake smiled at the idea. They could still share experiences, even from afar. He felt grateful for the technology that allowed them to stay connected. It was a reminder that distance didn't have to mean separation. They could create new memories together, no matter where they were. As the weeks turned into months, Jake realized that he was becoming more confident in expressing his feelings. His friendship with Mia had taught him the importance of reaching out and showing care, even when it felt difficult. He learned that vulnerability could lead to strength. One day, while scrolling through social media, Jake saw a post that caught his eye. It was a picture of Mia at a local park, surrounded by friends, smiling and enjoying life. He felt a pang of longing, but also pride. She looked happy and fulfilled, and he was glad she was finding her place in the city. Inspired, Jake decided to share his own post, a picture of him at the beach with the caption, "Missing my best friend, but grateful for our connection." He wanted others to know that friendships could endure, no matter the distance. As the seasons changed, Jake continued to nurture his friendship with Mia. They had regular video calls, shared stories, and planned for her visit. Each conversation strengthened their bond, filling Jake with a sense of hope for the future. Then one day, while sitting by the ocean, Jake received a message from Mia that made his heart race. "I booked my trip. I'll be there next month." Jake jumped up, filled with joy. He couldn't wait to see her again, to feel the warmth of her presence, and share the beauty of the ocean. As he looked out at the waves, he realized that he had not only saved a friendship, but had also discovered the strength within himself to reach out and connect. With anticipation bubbling inside him, Jake knew that their story was just beginning. Together, they would create new memories and prove that no distance could ever diminish the bond they shared. The ocean would always bring them back together, and he felt ready to embrace whatever adventures awaited them. Asterisk, the days leading up. Mia's visit felt both exciting and nerve-wracking for Jake. He spent each evening preparing for her arrival, wanting everything to be perfect. He cleaned his house, planned activities, and even picked out some of his favorite spots along the beach. This was their chance to reconnect in person, and he wanted to make the most of it. As the day approached, Jake felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. What if things were different now? What if they had changed too much during their time apart? He pushed those thoughts aside, focusing instead on the joy of seeing his best friend again. Finally, the day arrived. Jake woke up early, unable to sleep, his heart racing with excitement. He checked the time repeatedly, counting down the hours until Mia's flight landed. He imagined her stepping off the plane, smiling and laughing, just like old times. When the clock struck noon, Jake made his way to the airport. He parked his car and walked into the terminal, feeling butterflies in his stomach. He scanned the crowd, searching for a familiar face. As he waited, he recalled their last conversation about her visit. They had talked about everything they wanted to do: beach walks, fishing, and even making a bonfire at night. Finally, he saw her. Mia emerged from the crowd, her face lighting up when she spotted him. "Jake!" she shouted, running toward him. They embraced tightly, and Jake felt a wave of happiness wash over him. It was like no time had passed at all. "I can't believe you're here," Jake exclaimed, stepping back to look at her. She looked just as he remembered, bright-eyed and full of energy. "I missed you so much," Mia replied, her eyes sparkling. "I can't wait to see everything." As they drove back to Eldridge, they caught up on each other's lives. Mia shared stories about her new job and the friends she had made, while Jake told her about his fishing trips and the changes in town. They laughed and joked, and the distance that had once felt so heavy began to fade away. When they arrived at Jake's house, he led Mia inside, showing her around. "I made your favorite snacks," he said, pointing to a plate of chocolate bars and local treats. Mia grinned, her eyes lighting up. "Wow, you remembered. You're the best," she said, grabbing a chocolate bar and taking a big bite. Jake smiled, feeling a sense of satisfaction. He was glad to see her happy. "I thought it would be nice to have some snacks for our beach trip later." As they settled in, they began to reminisce about their childhood adventures. They shared stories about their favorite moments at the beach, laughing at the silly things they had done. Jake felt a warmth in his heart, realizing how much he had missed these simple moments with her. Later that afternoon, they headed to tea. After Mia's visit, Jake felt a renewed sense of purpose. Their time together had reminded him of the importance of friendship and connection. He had learned that even when life took them in different directions, they could always find their way back to each other. As he watched Mia drive away after her visit, he felt a mix of sadness and hope. He knew they would stay in touch, and he was determined to keep their friendship strong. Back in Eldridge, life slowly returned to normal, but Jake found himself thinking about Mia more often. He missed her laughter, her stories, and the way they could talk about anything. They continued to message each other regularly, sharing updates about their lives. Mia would tell him about her work, and Jake would share his fishing adventures. Yet, as much as they communicated, he still felt a longing for more shared experiences. One afternoon, while sitting on his porch, Jake had an idea. He thought about how much Mia loved the ocean and how they used to dream about traveling together. What if he planned a trip for them both? He could invite her to come back to Eldridge for a weekend of adventure, exploring new places and creating more memories. The thought excited him. Jake quickly grabbed his phone and started to message Mia. "Hey, I've been thinking." "What?" "If we planned a beach weekend together? I want to show you some new spots I've discovered, and we can have another adventure." He pressed send, feeling a rush of excitement as he imagined the fun they could have. He envisioned them hiking along the coastline, discovering hidden coves, and sharing meals at their favorite seaside restaurants. It would be a chance to reconnect and strengthen their bond even more. A few hours later, his phone buzzed with a reply. "Jake, that sounds amazing. I'd love to come back for a weekend. Let's make it happen." Jake felt a surge of joy. He quickly started planning the details. They agreed on a weekend in a few weeks, giving Mia time to arrange her schedule. Jake made a list of all the places he wanted to show her: the beautiful cliffs, the secret beach where they used to collect shells, and the local seafood restaurant they loved. He even planned a sunset picnic, just like the ones they used to. As the days passed, Jake threw himself into preparations. He cleaned his house, stocked up on snacks, and made sure everything was ready for Mia's arrival. He was filled with anticipation, knowing this weekend would be another chance to create lasting memories. Finally, the weekend arrived. Jake woke up early, filled with excitement. He made breakfast, preparing Mia's favorite pancakes and fresh fruit. He wanted everything to be perfect. When he heard her car pull into the driveway, his heart raced. "Jake!" Mia exclaimed as she stepped out of her car, beaming with happiness. They embraced tightly, and Jake felt a wave of warmth. "It's so good to be back." "Welcome home," he replied, smiling widely. "I have so many things planned for us." After breakfast, they headed out for their first adventure. Jake took Mia to a stunning cliffside viewpoint overlooking the ocean. The view was breathtaking, with waves crashing against the rocks below and seagulls soaring in the sky. "Wow, this is incredible," Mia said, her eyes sparkling. "I can't believe I've never seen this before." Jake felt a sense of pride. "I discovered it a few weeks ago. I knew you would love it." They spent time taking photos, capturing the beauty of the moment. As they stood together, Jake felt a deep sense of gratitude. He realized how lucky he was to have Mia back in his life, even if only for a short while. After the viewpoint, they headed to the secret beach. The sand was soft and warm, and the water sparkled in the sunlight. They kicked off their shoes and ran toward the waves, laughing as they splashed each other. "This is just like old times," Mia said, her laughter echoing across the beach. Jake grinned, feeling the joy of their friendship. They spent hours at the beach, building sandcastles, collecting shells, and simply enjoying each other's company. The worries of the past few months faded away, replaced by the warmth of their connection. As the sun began to set, Jake set up their picnic on the sand. He had packed sandwiches, fruit, and drinks, along with a blanket to sit on. They watched. The sky changed colors, from bright orange to deep purple, as the sun dipped below the horizon. "This is perfect," Mia said, taking a bite of her sandwich. "I'm so glad we're doing this." Jake looked at her, feeling a sense of determination. "I want to make sure we always stay connected, no matter what. I've learned how important it is to reach out and keep our friendship alive." Mia nodded, her expression serious. "Me too, Jake. I've realized that life can get busy, but I don't want to lose what we have. We need to keep making time for each other." After dinner, they shared stories and dreams under the stars. Jake talked about his desire to explore more of the ocean, while Mia shared her ambitions for her career. They encouraged each other, laughing and dreaming about the future. The next day, they continued their adventures. Jake took Mia to a local seafood restaurant he had discovered recently. They sampled different dishes, enjoying the fresh flavors and each other's company. The restaurant was lively, filled with laughter and chatter, and Jake felt a sense of belonging as they sat together. After lunch, they went kayaking on the calm waters. Jake showed Mia how to paddle, and they laughed as they navigated through the gentle waves. It was exhilarating to be out on the water, surrounded by nature. They spotted dolphins playing nearby, and Mia squealed with delight. "This is amazing, Jake. I can't believe we're doing this," she shouted, her eyes wide with excitement. As they paddled, Jake felt a sense of accomplishment. He was creating new memories with Mia, and it felt incredible. The distance that once separated them now seemed like a distant memory. They were building a bridge of connection that would last no matter where life took them. As the weekend came to a close, Jake and Mia sat on the beach one last time, watching the waves roll in. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the water. "I can't believe the weekend is almost over," Mia said, her voice tinged with sadness. "Me neither," Jake replied, feeling a lump in his throat. "But we've made some amazing memories. And I promise this won't be the last time." Mia smiled, her eyes shining. "We have to plan another trip soon." "I want to keep exploring with you." Jake nodded, feeling hopeful. "Absolutely. We can do this again. And we'll keep talking. Regularly, no matter what." As they headed back home, Jake felt a renewed sense of purpose. He had learned that friendship required effort, but it was worth every moment. They had faced the distance and come out stronger, proving that their bond could withstand anything. When Mia finally drove away, Jake stood at the edge of his driveway, watching her go. He felt a mix of emotion, sadness that she was leaving, but also hope for the future. He knew they would continue to support each other, no matter where life took them. As he looked out at the ocean, he realized that their friendship was like the tides, sometimes distant, but always coming back. And with that thought in mind, Jake felt ready to face whatever adventures awaited him, knowing that he had a true friend by his side. After Mia's wonderful weekend visit, Jake felt a surge of energy and hope. They had created beautiful memories together, but as the days passed, he couldn't shake the feeling of melancholy that lingered. Despite their efforts to stay connected, the distance still weighed heavily on his heart. Their phone calls and messages were comforting, but they could never replace the warmth of being together in person. Jake found himself staring at the ocean more often, thinking about how much he missed Mia. He missed their long talks, the laughter they shared, and the adventures they had. While he understood that life had taken them on different paths, he wanted to find a way to keep their friendship alive and thriving. One evening, while sitting on his porch, Jake received a message from Mia. "Hey, I've been thinking about our weekend. It was so much fun. I can't wait for our next adventure." His heart lifted at her words. He quickly replied, "Me too. Let's plan another trip soon. I want to keep exploring." But deep down, Jake felt a sense of urgency. He didn't want to wait until the next visit to feel connected again. The next day, Jake decided to take action. Inspired by his time with Mia, he wanted to create something special. He grabbed his notebook and started sketching ideas for a project that could bring them closer, despite the miles between them. He wanted to create a shared adventure journal. The idea was simple. They would document their adventures, whether big or small, and share their experiences with each other. They could each take turns writing about their days, adding photos, and even including little drawings. This way, even when they were apart, they would still feel connected. Excited, Jake gathered art supplies, stickers, and colorful paper. He spent hours designing the journal, making it bright and inviting. He wrote a heartfelt introduction, explaining the purpose of the journal and how much their friendship meant to him. He wanted Mia to know that this was more than just a project. It was a way for them to share their lives. Once the journal was ready, Jake took a deep breath and sent Mia a message. "I have a surprise for you. I created an adventure journal for us. I want us to share our experiences and stay connected, even from far away." A few minutes later, Mia replied, "Oh wow, Jake.